Life has been very different for a lot of people after the pandemic. However, one thing has really kind of remained the same. Everyone at some point or another was or felt pretty isolated throughout the course of it. Yet, some people bounce back quicker than others. So, let's talk about that. Welcome back to the Keeping Everything Simple podcast. I'm Michael Klukas, and this is the show where we boil down complex topics into simple, actionable tips that you can use to create a life and career that you love. I imagine just at some point you probably heard the fact that humans are social creatures. Whether you heard about it in school, National Geographic's on the Nature Channel, or you just happen to hear about it on YouTube because you follow the self-development space. Yeah, that'd be me. Anyways, the very fact that we are social animals and we require communities to live in, the invention of the digital world and digital communication acted as a bit of a double-edged sword. I think that's probably the best way to put it. There's obviously been a lot of research, a lot of flack also given about it, that people of younger generations, or just as generations have adopted technology over the years, have relied more and more on digital communication and digital connection rather than in person. And that's understandable because that was just the way in which the world was moving. That's the way in which everything was developing towards. And as a result, anymore, I would say we probably aren't as connected in person as we would actually like to be. And probably to some degree as much as we need to be. So we've gotten through the coronavirus pandemic, and now we have a new kind of set of problems. But the main one that I really want to touch on is the idea of this loneliness endemic, something that we've actually been experiencing for a long time. It just hasn't probably been talked about as much as it should be. So taking that concept of humans are social creatures, one of the big things that we need are communities and circles of support. I think that's the best way that I can personally put that. And that circle of support can take many different shapes. It can actually be in person, sure. You can have people that you grew up with or friends that you've made in your adult life or even in your young life. And from there, you guys can support each other through different changes, through different ups and downs of your life. You may have some friends from college if you went to university that you guys go through everything through thick and thin. That's your circle of support. For others, as you're older, maybe you never went to college, but you've joined some local groups and communities that you share interests with. Maybe you joined a book club. Maybe you found a society that you've really enjoyed being a part of, or maybe you found like a mentorship. It's just this idea that you're going to have different circles of support, and that's okay. It can be even the ones that you've made online. I know that people have huge communities of only online friends, and that's okay too. It's a circle of support, and that does make it a win for technology on that front, in which you can connect with people far and wide that share similar values and share similar interests as you. There's obviously a double-edged sword to that too, but that's a topic for another day. This is going to be very anecdotal, but there are so many books and podcasts out there that really stress this importance of close friends. And when I say close friends, I kind of mean this idea of if someone calls you, you know that you will drop anything and everything, jump on a plane and go to see them if they told you that they need you there. And you do that because you have 100% confidence that they would do the exact same for you. It's not this uneven balance of someone's always giving, someone's always taking. It's instead a mutual respect, mutual understanding of I will be there for you through anything. That's the kind of close friend I'm talking about here. It's this type of social network, this type of connection that does so much more than just give you someone to talk to. It improves your mental health. It improves your quality of life. It improves your physical health, like you actually physically can be healthier because of it. And most impressively, it actually increases your lifespan and life expectancy. By having just good circles of friends and good circles of support of close people that you have in your life that mean a lot to you, and have good quality relationships that bring good positive benefits to your life, everything about your life can improve and change for the better. And this truly can feel really hard, especially in times now after the pandemic where some people felt isolated. Sometimes that phone call wasn't enough. Sometimes that FaceTime video wasn't enough, or the group calls weren't enough. And that makes sense. We are social creatures, and how we each choose to socialize is largely dependent on our own personal preferences and our own personality. And that takes trial and error. And through the course of this, we do have to understand, though, that this loneliness endemic, this pervasive loneliness that some people have, where they feel like they may have good friends, but they don't have close friends, or maybe they have good friends, but most of their closest friends are only online. They've never actually seen them in person. There's a huge challenge to balancing out, how am I fostering a connection with someone? How am I bringing good into their life, and how are they bringing good into my life? And I want to stress, though, as well, this feels like I should probably stress this given the fact that I mentioned university. If this friend is one who only ever throughout your college life or through your young adult life was, all right, yeah, forget your responsibilities, come out, let's go drinking, let's go partying, let's go to the club, come on, it'll be fun, it'll be good for you. And that's all they ever did, not a good friend, not a good relationship there. If it's a balance instead of, hey, I know that we said we really wanted to go to this party and grab a couple of drinks tonight. However, we also have this assignment and this project that's super important to us graduating and our success in college. Let's get this knocked out first, and then we can plan for another night that we're going to go out and we're going to go have fun. That's a good friend. It's still a pretty inherent difference that you would be able to see, but when you're in it, when you're with them, it can sometimes feel much harder to separate, step back, and say, oh, this is not helping. This is not the close friend that I need. And this is where I encourage you, but I also understand that this can be scary. If you have anxiety, it can be hard to say, cut someone off, or to slowly wean yourself off of that friendship. And it can also cause you a lot of anxiety to go out there and join a new group, or to find other friends and other circles in which you can actually connect with other people in a healthier way. And the anxiety makes it feel overwhelming. And it can, for most of us, especially after the pandemic, for those young kids that have grown up throughout it, or for those of us who had good, healthy working relationships throughout it, it can still be a balancing act, because you have to understand that I still need to put in the effort to connect with these people and keep these people in my life that I want in my life. A good friendship's not just going to fall out of the sky. And at the same time, once you have one, you have to keep putting in work for it to be maintained. And so that's where this hopefully can help those with anxiety, and also help those of you without anxiety understand that consistency is key in terms of maintaining these friendships or these key relationships. It can be these small incremental things. It can be just that consistent weekly text, that consistent weekly phone call, or maybe that monthly dinner you all go out to. It's just going to take that constant effort in some way or another to keep maintaining that healthy relationship. And yeah, there can be instances in which you will go months without talking to someone, yet when you get together again, it's like no time has passed at all. And those are some great friendships as well. And then my personal thought to that is, think of, if that's how it is just after 6 months, what if you talk to them every 3 months, every 2 months, every month? How good would that relationship be then? And this can be one of those instances in which mind over matter kind of comes into play here, in which you can feel very isolated despite not actually being isolated. You can have people around you that are willing to hang out, that want to hang out. However, if no effort from anyone is actually put into making that plan, making that schedule, this is something that I'm personally guilty of not making good plans to see people, and I'm trying to work on because I want to maintain very good friendships. And the hardest part is if you feel isolated, then it can feel much harder and much more overwhelming again to actually reach out and to actually say, I would like to get coffee. Can we hang out on Saturday? So that's one of the key things that you have to come to terms with, is that people are social creatures and they want to connect. What effort you put into that determines largely how that will go as well. But remembering as well that it is a give and take balancing act. It's not that you should always be pursuing, that you should always be giving, or that you should always be taking. It should be a mutual respect and mutual understanding between both parties that want to maintain a healthy, positive relationship. And that's either romantic, platonic, family, professional, whatever it is. Healthy and positive. So this is my challenge to you, and it's actually two-part for those of you who want to choose your own adventure. The first challenge is text a friend. Just simply text them. One friend that you haven't connected with in a while, but you've been meaning to. You keep making a note for it. You keep putting it on your calendar, but you haven't done it yet. Just give them a text right after this podcast. That's all you have to do. The second challenge, and this is part of the Choose Your Own Adventure, is don't just text them. Once you have a conversation with them going, schedule a phone call. Schedule a time that you're going to sit down and do FaceTime. Better yet, if you can, and adult schedules are annoying as they are, and if it's possible, schedule time to go out to lunch together, go out to dinner together. Take time to catch up in person. Not every friendship is meant to last. Some friendships are meant to just teach you a lesson or to provide value in a certain chapter of your life, and that is more than okay. Because you are growing, your friends are growing, and sometimes people grow apart. However, if you give the consistent effort towards relationships that mean a lot to you, that you really truly want to keep, that gives them just a much greater chance of staying strong and standing the test of time. So that's why you have two challenges, and it's to choose your own adventure. If the anxiety is too high, just start that text message after this podcast. If you're able to do so, schedule time, call someone, and be able to either have that conversation with them or sit down with them in person, because your relationships determine so much more in your life than you know. Keeping everything simple, subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already, as well as subscribe to it on your favorite podcast app. Give the show a rating on iTunes. It helps us out so much, and also shares the show with other people just like you. Have an amazing day, you amazing people, and go out there and do great things.